The second requirement category is meetings, and there's really two portions for this requirement. There's an attendance requirement and a participation requirement. So for the attendance requirement, you have to have 4 meetings of a forensic dental or forensic organization, and you cannot count more than 1 meeting per year. So this is kind of one of the time limiting aspects of these requirements. You cannot apply to take the board exam any sooner than 4 years because you won't have met your 4 meeting attendance requirements. Meetings that I know for sure will count are the AAFS annual meeting, the ASFO annual meeting, and then any other annual meeting for a national or internationally recognized forensic organization. There are definitely some international forensic groups that have annual meetings, so if you attend one of those, that should count. Again, you cannot count more than 1 meeting per year. So the example I have listed here is you attend both the AAFS annual meeting and the ASFO in 2025. Only one of those counts as meeting attendance. It doesn't mean that you lose out on the other meeting. You can actually use the CE hours in your additional activity requirements under the continuing education portion. So we'll cover that a little bit later, but just know you can only count 1 meeting per year and you have to have 4 years of meeting attendance. So what they will require for proof of attendance is basically a meeting attendance record or a continuing education certificate. So make sure you're keeping those for each meeting you attend. If you attend a meeting that wasn't listed previously and you want to know, hey, would this potentially count? Just reach out to the C&E committee chair and ask, hey, will this meeting count as one of my attended meetings? If you are considering attending a meeting and you're not sure if it's going to count, I would obviously, again, reach out before you actually attend the meeting so that you're not making the trip thinking it's going to count and then find out later it wouldn't. So here's an example of what you would submit. This is my attendance certificate for the AAFS annual meeting in Orlando. Again, if you go to this meeting, you should get one of these every year that you go. So this is what you'll submit. Again, this is to verify that you did in fact actually attend the meeting and you aren't just claiming that you did. The second aspect of meeting requirements is the participation. You do have to participate in 2 annual meetings, and there's a variety of ways in which you can participate. That includes moderating a scientific session, potentially at the AAFS meeting or some other equivalent national meeting. You can actually present a paper or a lecture at one of these national meetings. Sometimes these meetings have panelists for different things. If you serve as a panelist, that can count. Or if you are a member of the committee putting on the annual program, that is also considered participation in the meetings. So just like any of these requirements, you're going to have to prove that you did participate. If you moderated, presented, or served as a panelist, you're going to need to submit a copy of the program that lists your name and your role. If you participated as, say, a committee member or some other participation outside of the things I just said, an official letter is what you're going to need to submit, preferably done by the program chair or the committee chair, and then signed by that person, stating the role that you served in and what year and for what meeting. So here's an example of, again, a portion of the program for the AAFS meeting that I presented at. You'll see my little note over there that I also submitted a copy of the front page of the program to show what meeting and what year this occurred at. So you can also use this if you are a moderator, because you'll notice right there where my mouse is that the moderators are listed as well. So keep those if you present or moderate, because that's what you'll submit as proof. My tip for this requirement is that the acceptance of a meeting and attendance and participation is really completely up to the C&E committee. Again, the things that I've mentioned previously, I know for a fact will 100% count. If you have something out of the norm that you're going to try to submit for these requirements, I again just would recommend that you get pre-approval from the CNE committee by talking to their chairperson. I'm not saying that it won't count. I just, again, would hate for somebody to participate or attend a meeting thinking it is going to work and then being told, a couple of years down the road, nope, sorry, you can't use that one. And now you're, a year behind in your requirements. So that's the meeting section of the application requirements.